Watching this video is going to help you to relieve your stress. So in this video, I'm going to introduce 4 quick ways for you to relieve stress so that you can feel the energy that you need to do the things that are important to you. Let's get to it. Number 1, good energy level. The quality and quantity of sleep that you get every day determines your energy level throughout the day. Sounds pretty intuitive, but not so. How do I know this? Because I used to fall asleep in school every day. And then when I look back at my life now, I recall that I used to get about 3 to 4 hours of sleep every day. So the quality and quantity of sleep really determines your energy level throughout the day. But it's not like, you sleep 10 hours on Sunday and then throughout Monday to Friday you get good energy levels. So we are not just looking at having enough sleep for one day. We are looking at how can we have this high level of energy throughout the week. How do we make it sustainable? We're going to talk about 2 points. Number 1, how can you increase the quality of sleep? And number 2, how can you increase the quantity of the sleep? So first, to increase the quality of sleep, 3 quick tips. Number 1, darken your room as much as possible. Number 2, make sure that the temperature is comfortable. And number 3, keep your phone away from you. You know who are those that are guilty, right? Every time when it's time to sleep, you start to take out your phone and use Instagram, Facebook, scrolling through them. Yeah? So keep your phone away, darken your room, and keep the temperature comfortable. And number 2, how do we increase the quantity of our sleep? 2 quick ways that you can apply right now. Set up a waking and sleeping time. An average adult needs about 7 to 9 hours of sleep every day. So try to plan yourself the waking and sleeping time. Make sure that there's 7 to 9 hours of sleep every day. And secondly, come up with a sleeping routine, right? Because sometimes every one of us are so busy with life nowadays that we are just not sure whether we have gotten everything down, right? So when you have a sleeping routine, let's say when you wake up, you are doing A, B, C, and D, having a checklist there can really help you to simplify the process of you getting to bed and waking up. Number 2, saying no. Maybe you can relate to this. But this was something that I really struggled with, especially with the people that I hold in high regard. But this is what I discovered about saying no. It is okay to say no as long as you believe that the reason that you are saying no to is legitimate enough. The best way I know to do this is to really know your goals, keep your goals in mind, and then you'll be able to say no to the things that are not aligned to your goals. Right? So I think there are 2 main ways so far that I've discovered quite effective at saying no. Number 1 is to just remain silent. And number 2 is to say no. And remember, when you say no, it is always possible to say no without ruining the relationship. So number 3, cut out distractions. Right? So in order for us to complete anything well, we need to have time and attention towards it. So if we imagine each task is like a bucket, we have to fill it up with our time and attention. But if we have all these holes at the bottom that's constantly draining out, we will never get our task done. Right? So what can we do to patch up the holes? And what can we do to cut out the distractions? Right? So I'm going to share with you some very practical tips. One thing, very simple, I think we just need to remind ourselves from time to time is that we just need to focus our attention on one thing at a time. Because all of us only have one stream of attention at one time. Right? We only have one tap. And then if we divert it to 10 buckets, how can we ever expect to finish our task well? How can we expect it to finish on time? Here are some additional ways that I've used to help me to minimize the distractions in my life. These first, electronics. Disable most of the notifications in your phone. What do I mean by that? Instagram, Facebook, WeChat, WhatsApp, Telegram, right? Trust me, you won't die because you disable those notifications. You just disable them and you'll find that over time, most of these messages are not life and death. You don't need to have access to them immediately. You have access to them in your own time. I think something that we really need to ask ourselves from time to time is that, are we using our phones or is our phones using us? Right? You find that a lot of times it is our phones that are using us. If you want to take it to the next level, you can also delete social media apps on your phone. Just like I have done. I have deleted most of my social media apps on my phone. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all these are major distractions. Use them, but don't be used by them. Also, for iPhone users, you can make use of the screen time function in your settings to disable the timings that you allow for certain apps, right? So for example, maybe from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. the next day, you don't allow certain apps to be used. You can even set a password, right? Get your best friend or significant other to set a password so that you cannot delete or install new apps. One other thing that you can do to cut out distractions is to stop reading the news. Number 4, plan out your time and stick to your plans. The clearer you are about what you want to do, the more likely that you will actually do it. So here are some quick tips for you to plan out your time and also be able to stick to it. Number 1, pen down your plans, whether it is on paper or on your calendar app. Writing it down ensures that you get it, increases dramatically the chances that you actually get it done. Number 2, plan for enough rest and recovery even amidst all the things that you have to do. Number 3, plan realistically. Sometimes we tend to pack ourselves too much until we are unrealistic in the things that we are planning. So we say that we want 7 hours of sleep, but we have packed our nights all the way until 2 a.m. and then we have work at 7 a.m. the next day. So that's unrealistic. So it's important that even as we plan out our time, that we try to be realistic with it as much as possible. And lastly, plan out 1 week ahead if possible. This allows you to look far ahead, 1 week down the road, to see if there's anything that you may have missed out. So commitments that you have already made prior doesn't suddenly crop up as compared to if you plan 1 day or only 1 day ahead. Right? Because you may have made dinner plans the next week, 1 week down, and then you plan for your next week, and then the day before you found out, oh, I have this plan that you didn't plan out beforehand. And that was it. So 4 quick ways for you to relieve stress. Share in the comments below what action will you take from this video, right? So for more of such content, you can go to purposeodyssey.com, click the subscribe button, click the bell button. See you soon.